Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 6, we got the over-unders. Let's get to the first game. Thursday night football. We got the Washington no-names at the Chicago Bears. The Bears over under 37.5. Money, 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 money. I'm going over. I know. When you see both of these offenses on the field, you want to go under, but this is too damn low. It reminds me of the Steelers-Browns game on Thursday night that pushed over very, very easy. Listen, this Bears offense has started to look better, and I'm not saying it's explosive. I'm not saying Fields is going to throw it around the park for 250 yards, but we are starting to see some more balance. Fields is throwing it a little bit better. You got Montgomery going up the middle, and this no-names defense isn't anything to write home about. It just isn't good enough. On the other side, this Bears defense, teams have started to figure it out. Carson Wentz hasn't been great, but he isn't a real problem behind the no-names. I think Carson Wentz puts up over 275 working against that cover 2. Both teams get to the 20s here. I'm not saying both teams get damn near 30, but I think both teams get to the 20s here. Like a 24-21 game. I like the over. Make it a damn money pick. Next game. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. Over under 44.5. I'm going under here. Now, the 49ers offense is starting to roll. We're starting to see the play action develop. We're starting to see the offensive line opening up big crevices for the running backs. But the Falcons just find a way to fight and scrap on defense. There isn't any stars besides Grady Jarrett. Yet they fight, they scrap, they run to the ball like a pack of dogs. I think they'll look pretty decent in this game. And on the other side, is there a better defense right now than the 49ers in this league? You could maybe name 2, but it would be hard to name more than that. This 49ers defense gets better every single week. And the Falcons, they're going to get Pitts back. But like I said, without Cordero Patterson, there's an explosion level missing. And, you know, it's all well and good what the Falcons did to the Buccaneers in the second half, but you're not going to run the ball 16 straight times against the 49ers and put up points. I'm going under the 44.5. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Cleveland Browns. Over, under 43.5. I'm going under. And eventually, you got to think Bailey Zappi is going to be who Bailey Zappi is. Is he the next Tom Brady, or is he the next Brian Hoyer? I would go more towards Brian Hoyer here. This Browns defense, this is more about them, though, because I want to give a little bit of credit to Bailey Zappi. But the Browns defense, they have to have a response. They have to do a nut check and come out physical and fierce in this game. I think the Browns defense does that. Now, the Browns offense has been more explosive than we all thought they would be, especially the last 3 weeks. They've blown 3 games in a row just by making bonehead decisions in the fourth quarter. I think the Browns play more conservative. That's why I like the under the 43.5. Next game, we're going to the Meadowlands. We got the New York Jets at the Green Bay Packers. We're going to Lambeau Field. Over, under 45.5. I'm going with a surprise over. And this Jet secondary with Sauce Gardner, I love it, man. I love what Sauce Gardner's doing. But I still think the Packers are able to generate 24 to 27 points here. I think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones, bet the Aaron Jones player props. Packers are going to respond. We did see Aaron Rodgers didn't practice Wednesday, but I'm not too worried about that. And then let's go to the other side of the ball. I'm not crazy about Zach Wilson. You guys know that, and I don't think they're going to run the ball great like they did against the Dolphins. But with that being said, this Packers defense has 3 or 4 possessions a game where they just don't fucking show up. where I don't know if it's a brain freeze. I don't know if it's a lack of motivation or focus, but there's 3 or 4 possessions every game. They don't show up and they let a big gasher happen. I think the Jets get 2 or 3 of those. I'm going over the 45.5. Next game, AFC South, the best division of football. No, it isn't. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the Indianapolis Colts. Over, under 42. I'm going over. There isn't a lot of science here. I do think Trevor Lawrence plays better this week. I like what Pedersen is doing from a systematic standpoint when we look at this Jags offense. Jags defense has been pretty good this year, but the Colts got to come with something, right? There has to be some sort of response. There has to be some sort of Alamo. Their damn season is on the line. They got to Alamo this. There has to be some creativity. There has to be something new. I'm going over the 42. Please do not bet this game. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings. O'Connell at the Miami Dolphins. Over, under 45.5. Money. I'm going under. I really like this under. Now, the Vikings defense isn't anything to write home about, nor is the Dolphins, although the Dolphins defense has had some really, really high highs this year. Let's give them the sufficient credit they deserve. But if Skylar Thompson plays, I think you have to hammer this under. He didn't show much against the Jets. He looked a little bit frazzled. The arm doesn't look quite strong enough for this NFL, for this men's league. Even if Teddy starts, I still lean with the under. I don't know if I would make it a money pick. But, man, for me, the Vikings, I like the record. I like what's going on with O'Connell. I like how they finally got the run game going last week against the Chicago Bears. But the Vikings can't close a game. And it seems like I just can't see the Vikings getting to 30, getting to 27 here. I see like a 24-20 game, a 24-17 type game. I'm going under. Next game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints. Over, under 43. Money. I'm going over, making a money pick. Now I know. When you think of the Saints, when you think of Andy Dalton, when you think of Jameis Winston, when you think of all those dogs that the Saints have on defense, you're thinking under. I completely understand it. But I'm going over. The Saints offense just can't seem to stay on the field. They always seem to be mixed in with a few turnovers. And this Bengals offense, they're going to be consistent. They haven't been the groundbreaking explosive machine we saw last year, but they're still proficient. They got the run game going last week. I think they hit 2 or 3 big plays over the top. I really like the over. I feel like 43 is very, very low in this game. And that's coming from a person like me who has the utmost respect for the Saints defense. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. Over, under 45. I'm going under. And I just think the Giants offense will struggle this game. Every single week, Dabo pulls rabbits out of hats. But for me, the way to attack this Ravens defense is rather simple. You got to throw it, and you got to try to throw it vertically. I don't think the Giants are the team to do that. I don't think Daniel Jones is the quarterback to do that. Also, the Ravens offense, without Bateman, it just seems like they're missing a key ingredient. It's looking like he will play, but I'm still leaning towards under. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over, under 44. I got this going over. There isn't a ton of science here. I just think this one finds a way to push towards over. I think we see a response out of Tomlin. I think we see a response out of Kenny Pickett. And also, I think we see a more focused Tom Brady. I'm sure you guys all saw the news today about Tom Brady. He did practice, and you know what's going on in his personal life. There isn't a lot of science. I think both offenses get into the 20s. Steelers somehow managed to get into the 20s because this Tampa Bay defense, it's not a talent problem. It's an organizational and coaching problem right now with them. Steelers will take advantage of a few mistakes. It's just barely pushes over. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Rams, over under 40.5. I'm going over. Because I'll tell you one thing. If you want to bet this game, and we're talking totals, bet the Rams over, like, I think it's 27.5 points. I think the Rams get to 30 here. This Panthers defense is good. This Panthers defense has a lot of dogs, but I just think the Rams are going to be on the field this whole game. I don't know if the Panthers, without Baker Mayfield, are going to do anything. Even with Baker Mayfield, they've been absolutely terrible and abysmal on offense. And, you know, it's all well and good. I didn't want Matt Rule to be the coach for like 2 years. I told the Panthers not to hire him. But, you know, firing Matt Rule to go to a guy who was 3-13 with the Cardinals, that doesn't really answer any questions. That doesn't really add the creativity that this offense so desperately needs. I'm still going over, though. I think the Panthers put up a few garbage time points. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks, over under 50.5. I'm going over. I was debating making this one a money pick, but I really like the over in this game. Credit to Geno Smith. Credit to this coaching staff for the Seahawks. Their offense looks explosive. No Rashad Penny, but it seems like they're getting a better run push out of their offensive line than I thought. We know this Cardinals defense is well coached, but they're also very, very vulnerable. As for the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals have the matchup they need with the Seahawks. This Seahawks secondary, they're really young. They got some good players, but they aren't experienced enough. There's 3 or 4 mistakes back there every game. I think the Cardinals get plays. I think Metcalf and Lockett create big plays. When you say big plays, I say over the 50.5. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs, over under 53.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going over. And I got to go into detail why I love this over. We saw last year's playoff game in cold conditions, in the most pressurous of conditions. We saw that get over, like, what was it, like 67, 66? Can't think of it off the top of my head. But we got a Bills offense, man, and everyone blasted them for the first half against the Ravens. I'm not. You saw how they rebounded. You saw how they were able to get in a more rhythm, and you saw how they absolutely bum rushed and bedazzled the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the Chiefs, there is a little bit of drop off without Tyreek the Thrill Hill. Some of you are fighting me about that. Some of you are arguing me about that. But I think now it's been made a reality. But this Chiefs offense just has too many big plays. And, you know, with Micah Hyde and Poyer banged up in the Bills secondary, I think the Chiefs have some matchups to exploit. Now, Chiefs, they have to get a little bit of run balance. That's going to be hard against the Bills. But I believe the Bills will be able to run it, and they'll be able to throw it against the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense has been well coached this whole year, but I think we see the true Chiefs defense this game with Josh Allen, with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. I'm going over, make it a damn money pick. And I know a lot of people are probably going to be on the over here, and I know that scares some people. This is one I wouldn't overthink. When I see Chiefs, I say over. Next game, Sunday Night Football. You guys ready? I'm looking forward to this game. I can't remember the last time I was looking forward to an NFC East matchup. We got the Dallas Cowboys, them boys, at the Philadelphia Eagles, Over, under 42. I'm going over. And when you get a really low number like this, you normally be a little bit cautious. One thing that makes me cautious about this 42 is that I think this is going to be a close game in the fourth quarter. I think this pushes towards over. Both defenses are good. Cooper Rush is playing this game against a damn good Philadelphia Eagles defense. I understand the propensity to want to go under here, but I'm going over. The Cowboys just seem to make 3 or 4 big plays a game, and they're running the ball extremely consistent. And if we're just watching the first 5 weeks, they might have the best offensive guard based on the film in the league. And then with the Eagles, don't ever count this Eagles offense out. I don't think they've showed us anything yet. I think they got some things left up the sleeve. We've seen the passing game from the Eagles, but one thing they haven't used a lot is the run game. When you got DeMarcus Lawrence, when you got Micah Parsons, you better run that ball. I want to see the Eagles at a 50% run. I want to see the Eagles at like a 54% run, 46% pass. I think the Eagles run it really well. I think the Cowboys run it really well. I think both teams work in play action. I'm going over the 42 and a little bit of a surprise. The fundamentals, when you look at both of these teams, when you look at Cooper Rush, says go under, but I'm going over. Next game at Monday Night Football, we got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Over, under 45.5. I'm going under. And you have to go under here because we have to talk about Russell Wilson. It looks like he will play. Now they are carting out a shoulder injury as some sort of excuse for how bad this man has been. I'm not buying it, but one thing I'm buying is this Broncos offense struggling. That's a big reason why I'm going under here. Now I know the Chargers are without a lot of defensive players. They're still recovering from injuries, but I think the Chargers will rise to the occasion. I think they'll get 2 or 3 turnovers from this Broncos offense. I think we see a more aggressive Broncos offense, but I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference. And we know this Broncos defense can take care of business. Herbert got into just one of his big zones, one of his big rhythms in the second half against the Browns. I think it's a little bit tougher against the Broncos. I'm going under the 45.5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 6 over-unders. Let's get this money.
How many days it gonna take? You switch on me and I ain't get a break. If I hop off, then the levee gon' break. If I take 2, then I'm off into space. Put all that down, pour all that out. I'm done without, we on the now. Step after step, day by the day. Live for the night and I'm never gon' break. Yeah.
Step by step, by step, by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Step by step, by step, by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Moving forward, on the glory. Up and onward, write the story. Little further, I can see it. We will be there before you know.
This life can get you down, down, down.
Just keep yourself around.